Okay, so here we are, and we're looking at the exchange interface for BitMEX, which is a cryptocurrency derivatives exchange. Now, there's a lot of exchanges out there, and it's up to you whichever one you want to choose, but BitMEX is a popular one. I know Zoran uses it. I started off using this, and they have a nice feature called the testnet. Now, the testnet is going to allow us to look at what the exchange will be looking like in real time with positions, but in this case, it's imaginary money. Now, this is going to help us develop a level of comfort around the interface, and we're going to walk you through all the different components of it. And this is going to be a multi-part video process because we want to make sure that you're digesting the information and we're not overwhelming you. So don't get too intimidated by this. We're going to walk you through this, and by the end of it, you guys are going to be masters and you're going to understand what the interface is, how it works, the mechanics of it. So when you start to trade your own capital and you've graduated this course and you're ready to tackle the markets, you'll have a feel for what you're getting yourself into. So I want to direct your attention to the tabs up here: Trade, Account, Contracts, References, API. We're going to be focusing on these two. And the Trade tab we're looking at currently, and is as it sounds, that's where all the trading happens. But before we can actually start trading, we need capital on the exchange. So I want to focus your attention to the Account tab. Now, if we click on the Account tab, we can see that we have a screen that says Wallet. And this is essentially your balance. And the way that you put money, or in this case Bitcoin, onto this exchange is through the deposit function. Now, this is denominated in XBT, and XBT is the currency on BitMEX. That is the product that the value is derived in. So if you recall back to the financial instruments video, we talked about things like options, swaps, futures. BitMEX has both swaps and futures as assets that you can trade on this exchange. The important takeaway is XBT is going to be how you look at your Bitcoin balance. But we'll get into that later on. Let's focus on the deposit function. So when I'm ready to start trading and I've signed up for BitMEX, and again, this is imaginary money, but this is how you would go about it, I'm going to click on my deposit tab. Now, this is going to populate me with a Bitcoin address, and I will use this address as the destination address. So if I'm buying Bitcoin on a spot exchange and I want to send it to BitMEX or whatever derivative exchange that you choose, this is how you go about it. This is the destination address where I want to send it. Once you have inputted that from wherever you're sending it from, you will then get an email from BitMEX or whatever exchange you're using, and it's going to confirm that the deposit has been located and your capital or money is on the exchange. Now, if we go back to our Account tab, it's going to show us in our transaction history. And we can see here that there was a transfer, 0.01 XBT. It's going to show us the status as completed, and it's going to be reflected in our wallet balance. So now that we have our 0.01 XBT or 0.01 Bitcoin, we can now trade with it. Now let's say that we wanted to withdraw off the exchange. Well, we can go to our withdraw function here, and we can see that we would input the destination address that where we want to send it. So maybe you're sending it to a cold wallet, or you're sending it to an exchange where you want to cash out for some sort of fiat or maybe the stable coin. This is where you would input the address you want to send it to, the amount, so whatever amount you want to take off of this exchange. Maybe a little note. Let's say that you want a reminder. This is similar to like a memo on a wire transfer of any sort of bank transfer that you might have done in the past. And an important thing I want to focus on is submit your withdrawal by 13 UTC, about 20 hours to be included in the day's batch. So the withdrawal period for this particular exchange is only 24 hours a day, so it's once a day. Other exchanges have different intervals that the withdrawals are allowed, but again, that's for you to look into and you to understand and really get a good grasp of what your exchange parameters are. So let's do an imaginary submission. We would then submit this, we would get an email, and then you would realize that the withdrawal has been submitted, and you can track this on the blockchain and you could see the confirmations through the miners, and eventually your withdrawal is going to end up at this destination address. But let's go back to the account tab and look at our transaction history. If we were to do that withdrawal, it would be reflected here. So this is an important little table that we're going to be focusing on because it's going to be telling us our wallet balance after deposits, withdrawals, as well as anytime we close out a trade, realized P&L, and we will be getting into that in some of these other videos. Whether it's we win a trade or we've lost a trade, it's all going to be reflected in the wallet balance. So I want to leave it at here now that we've understood how the account tab works, how we put money onto the exchange, how we take money off of the exchange, and how our balance is reflected from either a deposit, a withdrawal, or any sort of realized P&L, whether that be closing out trades. Right here we can see our balance. So take away the deposit withdrawal function, how it's reflecting our balance, and get ready as we move into the next video where we're going to talk about the trade tab and the different types of asset classes available.